All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Fraud Boxer podcast. And I always promise heavy hitters. And today I have one of the heaviest hitters we've ever had on the show. I got Mr. Ryan Breslow from Bolt, the man himself. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Jordan. Great to be here.
So you and I actually have known each other for coming up on 10 years. We met at my old company, Golden Hippo Media, which was a health and wellness company. You guys came up when Bolt was pretty fresh at the time and pitched us. And I thought it was a great product. So do you remember that trip?
Of course I do. Came down to LA from San Francisco and remember the Golden Hippo HQ. It was a cool spot.
We had our own gym in there, which we had CrossFit, twice a day. And then they would bring in strength training guy for me. And then you, and it was, I believe it was Darren at the time.
Yep.
Jumped in my little car, my little Audi A3, and rode with me all the way back over the hill to the west side to my apartment. And then we went out over to like some of your guys' friend's house. It was when the Dodgers were in the World Series. I remember we had a big night.
We had a night.
We sure did. Well, you since then have built quite something. So why don't you give us the quick, 3-minute version of Bolt, the history of it, who you are, where you came from, and then we'll get into what you guys are up to now, because it's super interesting.
Bolt is an end-to-end payments platform with an embedded one-click wallet network. And I remember you guys were like first on that.
Yeah. You guys were the first ones to be a checkout process, one click, where it didn't matter what website you were on. It was boom, boom, boom. And I was crazy.
Yeah. We really invented or pioneered embedded one click, which is not a button, right? Not a payment method that's a button based, but it's an embedded experience, meaning you type in your email, we're like, boom, recognize your account. We load your account right into the checkout. We pioneered that experience, are first to market. Now there are other companies doing similar things. We still believe Bolt's is 10x faster, more seamless, higher converting than anything on the market. And we have 80 million shoppers on our network. So almost half of the active shoppers in the US are on the Bolt one-click network.
Oh, damn. I didn't know it was that many. So that's quite the number there. Now, I saw that one of the things that was cool at the time, especially for you guys, was, or for me, was everything was all included. So it was processing, it was fraud. I basically bolted it in. I mean, no pun intended, maybe a little bit, and it just worked. At the end of the day, I got what I needed from it. That was the case, right?
That was it. End-to-end checkout and everything inside. So payments, fraud, orchestration, hundreds of different pre-built integrations, features, etc. So yeah, our goal was to make your life as easy as possible.
And you started this when you were at Stanford. You're one of those legendary people, right? That does all that cool shit when you're out there.
Stereotype. Stanford dropout.
Yeah, but you actually made it, so and actually worked there, Yeah. But you stepped away for a little while and you started another website, love.com, right? Do you still do that one too?
Yes, love.com is still in full swing. It's still, we consider pre-launch. We've been dialing in the site for a while now. We have a big bold mission, which is a clean, green everything store. So there's a lot of tech that goes into that. But yeah, we're really excited about love.com.
That's great. And I thought that was really cool, especially that you even have the domain. That was pretty awesome. But let's talk about your return, what that looked like, and what that's been since. Because I've been seeing a lot of good milestones you've been hitting all over the internet. So tell us a little bit about that story. You can gloss over the stuff you don't want to talk about, but the stuff you do, I would love to celebrate some of those milestones when you're coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Bolt has been a roller coaster, ups and downs. We had a challenging few years, but we're fully back. Everything is back on track. We had a few years of a lot of public adversity. Now it couldn't be more of the opposite. We counted over 100, it might be 150 overtly positive pieces on the company about our new product launches with Palantir, with Klarna, Bolt Charge, Bolt Connect for marketplaces, our new workplace policies. So Bolt has been kind of electric in the press recently, and it's been a fun return.
And that's good to see you back. I know, because I used to see you because I knew you. So I would follow you and I would see you like a lot. And then when you did step away, it kind of went away a little bit.
Yeah.
Right when I thought the the timing and the priming was right for what it was, especially coming out of COVID with the e-commerce boom. Like everybody was really buying stuff online, and the time was interesting for it to not be everywhere, because it should have been, especially because all these people that started their e-commerce websites during COVID because they were sitting on their asses at home. Like, yeah. So I'm glad that you're back, and I know you've signed a shitload of deals since you've been back. The Palantir one was pretty massive. Can you tell us a little bit about that one specifically, or like I don't know what you're allowed to and what you're not allowed to say? Those companies are usually pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're pretty open book. I think there's nothing. It's only exciting things with that partnership. So Palantir is assisting co-developing our Bolt AI. So we're bridging Bolt AI with Palantir AI, and we're powering intelligent commerce experiences. Our flagship product is Checkout 2.0. So what that means is the first intelligent checkout. Every other checkout on the internet, maybe other than Amazon's, is static, right? It's showing the same checkout experience to every user, right? Well, some users care more, are very price sensitive. Some users care about loyalty. Some users are big ticket purchasers. They do a lot of shopping all at once. Some are incremental spenders. Some are more eco-conscious, right? And want those badgings and to understand the footprint of the transaction. And so all of those users should have a different shopping journey and checkout experience. And that's what we're building in partnership with Palantir.
I guess I never thought about that because, you and I both live in Southern California, so we have people that tend to be a little more eco-conscious than people probably would be in the Midwest. I never really thought about like how like that might affect other people's shopping experiences to see certain things. Like you said earlier, love.com was like eco-conscious on the products and how it works. I would assume how it's powered, all those sorts of things. That would make sense. I guess I never really thought about that, because I'm just so used, for me, checkout is my least favorite part of the process. Like I will always say that. And I know I work in e-commerce. I've worked in fraud prevention and payments for 15, almost 20 years. I still think that buying something online where I have to pull out my credit card is one of the worst experiences ever. And I will say that I am one of those people that will abandon a checkout if I have to pull out my credit card, if there's not some sort of way to autofill, to like with you guys bring it across. Like I will abandon. Like that's one thing I think that Amazon got a lot of my business early on, was because they just made it so easy to buy when other websites make it difficult to buy. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, couldn't agree with you more. One of our missions is to end guest checkout on the internet, right? Make everything one click, and we're almost there. Your average site, if you were to start JordanHarrisSkateboards.com and you were to use Bolt, through our 80 million shoppers, we would actually recognize and log in 43% of users through your checkout with a one-click experience.
That's crazy.
That's how much coverage we have today with the 80 million shoppers. We're going to be at 150 million shoppers by the end of the year. We'll be at that 43 should jump up to 60+%. So we're almost halfway there in ending guest checkout on the internet for our clients. And that network effect is only getting more important by the day. And, our mission is you brought up the keyword Amazon. Everyone else is at a huge disadvantage, right? To go and shop at Jordan Skateboards, you don't have an account, right? Your site has no data, has no personalization. So going to Amazon is way too easy, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to make it just as easy and pleasant and amazing to shop at Jordan Skateboards. I
like that because I did have I had a skateboard company, right? You know that, right?
I didn't know that.
I did used to actually have a skateboard company. This was in another life. And actually, I will tell you honestly, the e-commerce experience was one of the hardest parts. So how we did it at the time, this was early. This was like 2008 and 9. Is we used the PayPal checkout flow. So it was early on the hosted payments page, and that was like essentially the only way that I could take credit cards at that time without having to build a secure form myself, which even then was super risky. It was the first time I remember like any sort of embedded payments page that I could do in an iframe and actually get that checkout experience. But at the same time, it was a cumbersome and ugly checkout process.
Right.
And my orders were few and far between. Normally how I would do it, honestly, to tell you the truth, is I would do wholesale and I would go to like the skate shops and I would sell to them. But what I would do is I would place the order on my own checkout form with their credit cards to, first of all, I could send it to them that way, but then also I could do my own pricing, but then I could have proper inventory done. So I would kind of just do it myself. But it was such an ugly checkout process for anybody that wasn't me using it on a normal basis, you know. And there was, I don't even know what the fraud prevention tools were, if there were any even back then. This was, you know, forever ago. But if I would have had, I always say all the time, like, I say it on the show all the time, if I would have had the e-commerce tools that exist today, then I wouldn't be sitting here doing this, because my company would have worked at the end of the day. Totally. And that's what I think is so cool, is like these brands have opportunities that make it so easy to make a company. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's way too hard to start a business in this country, right? We're in America, the most capitalist, pro-business place on earth, arguably, or one of, and you know, it's so hard to start a business. And I think that's because, you know, Goliath, these ultra big sites, right? Mm-hmm. They have so many advantages over you. They've got, you know, decades of data, accounts from back in the day, so someone can just go and one click log in and check out. They've got unit economics on their transaction costs. You're paying 4% per transaction. They're paying 2%, right? And they have the AI and the personalization. So they've got so many advantages over independent businesses.
For me, it's like, even at my company now, like, we're pretty good on infrastructure, on shipping, but like, I can't get it there same day like Amazon can. I just can't. I'm really fast in other countries, and that's what kind of sets me apart. But like, to your point, like Amazon, if I wanted to start a company today that sold t-shirts, I would have to use one of the platforms, but there's no way in hell that I could get a shirt to somebody inside a week. You know, like, it's just not going to happen. But if someone knocked off my logo on Amazon, they would have it tomorrow. And like, that does make it difficult. It is an uphill battle, even for like starting this podcast. You know, it's hard to get viewers. I got them now, but like, it was like a slog to get through to get over the hill. And like, to your point of starting a business in the US, like, I got so screwed when it started making money, and like, I wasn't prepared for that, and like the infrastructure that comes with that, with accountants, taxes, like with having to incorporate, then having to reincorporate when the name changes, it was a mess.
It's a mess. It's so challenging. It's so difficult. And you know, luckily, as you said, there are much more tools now that make that simple. It's still not simple. And you know, I think Bolt is really trying to simplify one of the hardest pieces, which is just collecting your money, right? I mean, that's still,
which should be the easy part.
The easy part, right? And it is. And you know, if you're at China, right? I mean, if WeChat payments run everything, right? It's a simple account, right? You pay with the account, it's one click, account to account, closed loop.
Yep.
And we're supposed to be, you know, the leader in fintech. And I actually think that other countries and continents have leapfrogged America. Even Africa, right, has mobile payments so seamlessly locked in.
Yeah. I mean, I was over in Singapore and everything was just through the Grab app. Everything. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you didn't have that one single app, like, you couldn't do much of anything.
Most of Asia,
it made my trip easy.
Most of Asia, Africa, Europe, and even now parts of South America have leapfrogged the US in terms of fintech simplicity.
Yeah. So that is a great segue, actually, that you did on your own there. You're making a super app, aren't you?
We are.
So tell me all about it, baby. Tell me how you're going to bring us into the now.
So we're launching the US's super app, which is the Bolt super app. It's going to have mobile banking, peer-to-peer, right? All the fiat components, but it's also going to have the crypto components.
I was going to say, are you going to do stable coins and all of that?
Stable coins. We had Jeremy Allaire, Circle CEO, just give us a shout out on our stable coins integration for businesses. And now we've got our consumer app, which is you're going to be able to trade all the major currencies, buy, sell, send, receive, hosted wallet, send to your friends, send to an email, phone, or on-chain address, all in the palm of your hand in a mobile app. So it's the simplest, most comprehensive crypto and financial super app, we say, for the 99%, not for the ultra sophisticated who are going to Coinbase or Kraken or whoever. This is for the 99%.
Yeah, because I think so I have an episode that while we're recording this has not come out. I don't know if it's going to come out before or after this, but it's all about stablecoins. And that is, we specifically talk about how the vast majority of consumers, those are more geared towards them that might still hear the word coin and be a little adverse to what's going on, but then understanding that it's tied to some sort of fiat currency. So there's actual value. Now with the Genius Act, there's like a law that they have to cover whatever they have for coins. And I think that this is going to unlock a little more trust in that system for the average 99% of consumers, not those guys that are posting BTC memes all day long and making fun of like, you should have invested 20 years ago. Well, we all know we should have invested 20 years ago, but we're risk adverse and like we work hard for our money,
Yep.
But I think it's going to help people with that. So I'm super stoked that you already have that in there. So is this out yet? Is it out right now?
It is in the hands of a beta group of users right now. Real money's flowing. Real crypto trades are happening. It's all working. We're putting some final polish on it, and it should be hitting the general market in the next coming weeks.
Are we going to be able to go to like my site if it has like the button, or is it going to be like how I will be able to pay using the Bolt app on my site? Like as long as do I have to have a partnership with you, or will it work no matter what on that?
Well, so if you have the app, you can pay your friends. You have a card that's tied into it, so you can pay at a restaurant. You can pay anywhere. You can use that card that's tied to your app online as well. So Jordan Skateboards wouldn't need Bolt installed for them to use their Bolt card.
Got it. Okay, that's cool.
But if you have Bolt checkout, there is going to be a host of advantages, as
like loyalty points and those sorts of things.
Loyalty points, accelerated rewards, and it's going to link directly to the app too. So once that checkout opens, that person's app on their phone is going to open, and they're going to be able to one-click checkout right from the app.
That's pretty slick. I just did a loyalty and rewards presentation to one of the card networks, one of the large ones, the second largest one, and it was all about how like millennials and Gen Z and now even some of Gen Alpha, they're really into using certain apps and certain things to get those points. Like the McDonald's app is such a great example, like that everybody knows right now is like if you use the app, you get a free cheeseburger, or you get these points that you get to do to get a free cheeseburger, and it keeps people inside their app instead of ordering it through DoorDash or any of the other things. It keeps them inside the app, so that way there's some sort of incentive. And the Gen Z and the millennials, like the younger millennials, not the older ones like me, I'm still old school, but like they love it, And I'm a big loyalty guy for like when it comes to my credit card points. Like I'm very strategic on which credit card I use at which vendor. But if I could have just points that I could use and redeem in store, like let's say your app had, like I get all these points in your app and then I can redeem them for different things, that would be pretty slick at the end of the day.
Yeah, and all of these things are possible, right? Like it's possible to really make your dollar go a long way, but there's too many different apps.
Yeah. It's getting to be a little crazy.
You've got to go through onboarding, got to fill out your info on every separate fintech app. It's way too hard to track. It's so much friction. I know I'm leaving so much on the table, right? With every single swipe, but I'm not going to go through the effort. I'm super lazy. Personally, I'm extremely lazy, and I know most people are lazy, right?
Jeez, for me knowing you, I have to say, I don't think you're that lazy, honest.
I'm very lazy when it comes to personal things. I'll work like a dog, but personal matter. I mean, I'm extremely lazy, and 99% of American consumers are lazy. I'm not going to sort through all these different fintech apps and download them and learn about them. I want one place to go where I know my rewards are being optimized, clean, simple, transparent, easy to follow, and that's what we're doing with the Bolt app.
See, I think this is a good idea. Like you start with the checkout, you start with all that, you get the people, you get the data, and then you expand it, And I think that was innovation is what people need to always be doing. They always need to be innovating, like innovate or die, right? Like that's kind of how it is these days, because the next cool thing comes along and you don't want it to pass you up. So I like this idea. This is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a race. Fintech is a race. There's a lot of activity, a lot of funding. You got to stay ahead of the race. You got to innovate aggressively. And I think that's one thing Bolt has always done well. We pioneered, as you said, the fully managed checkout experience. We pioneered one-click embedded. We're now pioneering Checkout 2.0, the first AI enhanced payment flows. And now we're pioneering with this super app, and we're going to stay ahead of the competition. And hopefully that's going to result in a very big company.
Awesome. Well, I always wrap these up with what are your top 3 predictions for the next year? So what do you think they are? Like, it can relate to Bolt, it can relate to the world, it can relate to the Yankees winning the World Series. It doesn't matter to me. What are your top 3 predictions?
I think fintech is back.
Yep.
Fintech
100%.
is, going to continue. The tooling is going to continue to improve. I think there's going to be consolidation in certain areas as well into a super app or end-to-end checkout experience, right?
I think stablecoins is really going to push this consolidation a lot too. Yeah. Getting payments to complete faster. I think you're going to see a lot more happening with these companies being snapped up. I mean, Circle's too big to be snatched up now, but like, I think the traditional fintechs are going to start to really make plays for the neobank stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going to see real world adoption of stablecoins and cryptocurrency, where they're more than just speculation or NFT purchasing or art or novelty, but they're actually going to be real means of sending money across borders and completing transactions. I think this is the year where it happens.
Finally, we've been wanting this. Like, the cross-border thing, like my company, we do business in 188 countries, and that's a lot of countries. The cross-border can get messy, and it can take time and money can get stuck. And then paying FX fees and those sorts of things. Like, I've been pretty excited about the possibility of using crypto in some capacity to mitigate those fees and mitigate those times, and settle in select currencies that we want, like that maybe that we need to pay taxes in, for example, and kind of even chop off like one of the FXs. So I think that there's a lot coming there.
100% agree.
I like it because agentic AI, I think, is especially going to be, that's like one of my biggest things. I just had some pretty cool episodes about that on here too.
Yep.
But I like the idea of a super app because I really enjoyed my experience using one in Asia. I would like to have that same experience here. And like I said earlier, I just really hate the fragmentation of what my checkout's going to be when I try and buy something online because I literally never know what it's going to be. So, yeah.
Yep. I think a lot of the things Asia's doing well, we've got to do well. And a lot of the things that we do well, they quickly catch up on. So I think it's time for the inverse this time around.
Is. Well, everybody, it's time to start paying attention to what Asia's doing and start pushing your bank to do cool shit because they do some cool shit and they make it social too, which is fun.
Make it social, engaging, have tons of loyalty points systems, and they make it simple and easy to use. And they're kings at e-commerce. Their e-commerce is super sophisticated as well. So, we've got some catching up to do.
Yeah, we monitor all those and we chase them a lot. Well, Bud, thank you very much for coming on my show. I know you're a busy man. You probably got a plane to catch, so I'm going to let you go. But it's always good to catch up. We still I need to come up there and have some cocktails with you one of these days. When we get offline, I'll find a way to make that happen. All right?
Let me know when. You're the man.
I appreciate it. Everybody, Bolt.com. Check it out.
Thanks so much.